Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Big Luke Gaming back for another video, and I want to talk about two things today. As you guys can see from this front screen, I actually just try to get into the war section of the game. So Alliance Wars, let's talk about it real quick. You can see we completely dominated the first war. There are 3 wars total. 4 teams. We fight each team once, and you have these cannons, right? So the biggest part of the game is, or as far as this goes, is at first during the preparation phase, you want to get the defense buffs up as high as possible. So you can see here, we actually wasted war coins on healing over time buff because those 2,500 that were not, we weren't even gonna get close to the 8,000. Or at the ship defense, you see the 4,400, we could have applied that to something else. So that's during the preparation phase. I think it's about 5 to 7 days before the war actually starts, and you start buffing these up by collecting war coins. You collect the war coins at the war coin campaign, which I'll show you guys in a bit, but it's really easy. Basically, you just go through a campaign, and then you auto win up to the highest battle you can get to in each section, and you get war coins. Now, for attack buffs is the phase that we're at right now. Once you're actively attacking, this is where you donate your coins. You can see on the top right here, I have 261. But essentially, I think, and my alliance may think differently, but I think after the first war, after the first battle, we can kind of gauge where we're at. We can keep collecting war coins and save them for the next war. All right. So that's buffs, both during preparation phase and then during the attack phase. So you guys can see that our team comp ratings, like the power level, is actually higher than it is, right? So let's go to our defense side. You can see here on the little left, it says defense. This is our islands, right? And this is how we set up our defenses. I think I put up a defense in Summit. So this is my defensive team. You got to use 2 Summit toons and then 2, like any 2 other toons. And then I put in 1, I think here. Yeah, 1 in Farm Cannon. So my farm team is actually not that strong. My strongest one is Fogleg. He's my only strong 6-star. But that's why I didn't get a tower. So the way buffs get passed down is the ship, we'll put the strongest team there. So B. Louise is one of our strongest players, and her comp just makes sense. But if they were to destroy our ship first, you see all these little blue arrows going between towers to cannons. You lose buff. So if you click on this tower, it says on the top, it says counter chance buff, 16% counter, also affected by pirate ship. That means that the pirate ship, which is at level 8, which gives us 32% attack, defense, 12% speed, and 32% HP, is passed on to the toons in this tower. Now, so we call these water towers. We call these just regular towers, and they're affected by the central tower, D, which is the counter, and the pirate ship. So you guys can start seeing the chain of effect here, right? And the last cannon, it doesn't cause anything, but it's affected by 3 things. So you get the 4 out of 10, 16% from one tower, 16% from the other. That's 32% chance. So you want to put our stronger teams at the towers because they have a less chance. They're just affected by less, so they got to be stronger. Whereas this 49K team is actually a little more decent because they have a 32% chance to counter plus all the buffs, right? So that's essentially it. The islands rotate. I know there's a crit island and there's a dodge chance island. But right now we have freeze, damage over time. Excuse me, had a late night. We have healing over time and counter. Once you guys start playing, you guys will see what each one does respectfully, right? So let me go back to home real quick so I can show you guys the war coins, and then I'm gonna see if I can go through my first 4 battles and the strategies that I go behind. Okay. So it's called War Coin Plunder. You come here. Your energy caps at 20. All right. This only damage over time. This is the only one that I was able to reach battle number 8. So that's what gives me the most war coins. But right now I have 10, so I just auto win it. Right, you get 235, and I had 216 or something like that, I think. So then I go back to my Alliance Wars, let it load up, and I have 496 total war coins. So I could donate them, but I don't think we need them, just based off how we're just dominating the team. So I'd rather save them for the next war. So we're in the attack, so this is the enemy's defense. And the first thing I like to look at is how many weak teams they have, right? So if I see a bunch of 40 and 50K teams, sorry about that. If I see a bunch of 40 and 50K teams, then I know I can, be a little more free with the team comps that I use, meaning I don't have to use my strongest tunes. So initially, I think it's at 11. Yeah, right at 11 o'clock, war starts. 11 my time. I'm in Houston, Texas, guys. So at 11 o'clock my time, I get 4 energy right off the bat. And then every 8 hours, you get 2 energy. So essentially, you get to prep for these 4 battles, and then 8 hours later is 2 more, and then 8 hours later is 2 more, and then you just don't have enough time to get the very, very last 2, because even if you did, it will come right at the 24-hour mark. So essentially, you got to prep 8 teams that you can use against the enemy. So let's see. You guys can see my team's already. Excuse me. They're already dominating the 40K teams. So I'm looking around to see what I can pick off. So like this 58K team, I know I can win. But it'll use some of my stronger tunes. And then usually I'd like to coordinate in my chat, like, hey, can anyone else also beat this tower? Because once we beat this tower, these cannons have no buffs. So they'll be significantly weaker. And that can help us win the war in a close war, right? So like this 79K team, yeah, I can't beat that. This 72K, honestly, I could probably beat that, but I'm not gonna try it. I don't want to risk it, especially because I like being on top of the leaderboards, which I don't know how I'm doing right now. Let's see. So if you go here on the right side, war overview, you can see the rank rewards. Usually we get first place. We've only gotten second place twice, and then there's the war leaderboard. So if you go by all alliances, I haven't done my 4 battles, but once I do, I'll probably move up to the top. But within my alliance, Looney, I'm still 3rd place, but I just haven't done my battles yet. So Triple Z probably already did their battles. And the milestones is pretty cool. You get the seagull and sand pieces. I'm actually about to get them to 4.2 stars. I'll eventually get them to 5. And then every so often you get these golden tickets, the golden war tickets. So they help you have some spins on a special pirate wheel, which really gives you a guaranteed 100 epic pieces for some pretty good tunes, to be honest. So let's see, my first battle, where do I want to do it? I don't like going for the low 40s teams, so I can leave those for some of my members that may struggle with the harder fights. So like this 53K team, let's see, 50. Yeah, I can beat this. All right. So always analyze your team and what they do, right? So this Gossamer is going to be inflicting a lot of freeze, right? And we're also in a freeze island. But I'm honestly not too worried about it because he doesn't do that much damage. So actually, looking closer at the team, that's actually a pretty strong team. Because that Gossamer is 16K, minus 20K though. But I don't want to use my strongest tunes yet. So let's go with, let's see, I'll use Friar Porky just for defense. And, I usually like to go Black Knight Sam against Black Knight Sam, but I don't want to waste. Honestly, I don't feel comfortable using that yet because I might want to have to use some of my stronger teams on that. Let's see. There's a 47K team here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out a couple of easy fights. All right, so 46, and this is 47. But I also don't want to screw over my team. So it's almost a 7-star to bar, which is gonna be annoying. Whatever. Let's do it. Let's do this one. All right, so I want to knock out that Labard as soon as possible. So I'm going to use bugs to put taunt on him. And then I need a couple healers. So yeah, let's do this. Let's do Barkeep Sheepdog. I need one tank. So, well, I don't need a tank. But I'll go ahead and throw in... Honestly, I could give... I just don't care about that Hector. So I'll probably use Hector just for defense. And then I need one more attacker. So the last attacker that I want to use is probably going to be someone that's not way up there, but, you know, enough to cause some damage. So I'll use Wiley Coyote since I just got him to 6-star. So let's try him out. So, admittedly, since one of the last biggest updates, they changed the whatchamacallit, like the AI for these teams, and computer, like the AI on the enemy team is now a lot more difficult to win against, which is why I like to think carefully about what I'm actually doing. Just because they'll target your weaker teams or your weaker toons immediately, or a healer, for example. So that's why I always bring at least one tank. And Hector, although he doesn't bring like much value to the team, he can gain defense up for the rest of the battle just by using his normal attack, and his defense is just pretty high. So let me go ahead and do this. Slow them down. And so the reason I like King Bugs too is because he makes sure that we put extra damage on toons with taunt. So helps me kind of just blow through them a bit. I'm hoping to get this Hector to 7-star. Once I get this Hector to 7-star with the current event, then I'll see if I can use him a little more. So you guys can see that this was a pretty easy battle. I didn't use some of my top toons. You know, I saved those for like the harder fights, or just to balance out some of my weaker teams. But there goes one fight at 50k. I am usually able to, like, battles like this, if I really wanted to, I can just use my top team and I'll just completely dominate. But the point is to save those toons and spread them out to be able to use, like, to go through 8 fights, you know? So I did that 50k. I could probably, honestly, I should probably just do this 53. So let's see. That Daffy will definitely steal my my buffs, right? So I don't want to bring someone like Sylvester because he'll take away my counters, and that's what makes him super valuable. So I'll bring in a heavy tank like OG Fog Leg. I should be able to sweep through his summit toons pretty quickly, but I want to take out that Daffy as fast as possible. So honestly, one of my favorite team comps is this. I think I mentioned it before, just because I'll sweep through them purely with damage over time. But I don't want to do that yet. But I think I am going to use this team eventually. And I like to save my Devil Dog for any team that has a Granny on it, just to take away that healing over time. And it's basically a free win. But let's see. Maybe I could use my monster team on this. So I use Fog Leg, or Monster Fog, sorry. Ralph. I'll add in Granny because she just does a lot of healing for Fog Leg, or Monster Fog. Sorry, I did it again. And then I'll just bring a random attacker. So looking at their comp, I want someone that attacks a lot but doesn't actually gain a lot of buffs. So I'll throw in Bugs Bunny so he can stun that Daffy Hood. Okay. So let's see where this goes. All right. And the reason why I like to bring Monster Fog is because every time, like if Granny starts getting attacked, he'll taunt, and then when he taunts, Granny will heal him, and then everyone else gets healed, and then when someone else gets low again, he'll taunt again, he heals himself, and then everyone starts healing, and it's just a nice chain, right? So let's start off with Ralph. I'm gonna stun Daffy because he's gonna be the one doing the most damage. That Scout Foghorn already used his taunt, so he won't be able to taunt for like the next 2 or 3 turns. And from here, I just want to work on Daffy first. Let's keep lowering his attack. And to use Granny effectively, really what you want to do is go after their main DPS that has the highest attack, and then just use her base attack. Because because it is a guaranteed attack down every for the rest of the match. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys kind of how I like to do all this. Alliance wars are very important. If you guys are still relatively new to the game and are just starting, try to focus on a few toons that you can kind of spread out with others, so that you can be effective in alliance wars. And honestly, the rewards are pretty good. I saw on Reddit that some people just don't even care anymore, but honestly, like for the war tickets, like it's worth it, and it just adds something to do in the game while you're waiting for your energy to refresh or for an event to start or end. So I honestly don't mind the alliance war at all. But I mean, I could be very biased just because my alliance is pretty beast. So if you guys are in a rush, I just did 2 fights. The next 2 won't come for another 7 or 8 hours. So you guys can stop and just carry on with your day and come back in a few hours and then finish these off. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and kill this team here just because it's already almost there. So let me go ahead and I'll use some damage over time. I'll use Pepe Le Pew. I'll use Porky, and then Porky synergizes well with a Daffy. So I'll throw in... Should I use Daffy Hood? I might want to save him. This Daffy is not that good. Yeah, I'll use Daffy Hood. Because I have a Porky, and Daffy Hood does 50% more damage against Porky Pig. And then honestly, like, they shouldn't really be able to touch most of my team at all. Just because my OG Fog is just going to be doing massive damage. So I got to remember one thing. That I'm fighting in an island that's now counter. So be careful with your AoE teams here, because if you hit all of them, each one's going to have a chance to counter against you. All right, so I've lost by forgetting that before, and I brought a full AoE team before, and it was just bad. So let me get rid of that Farmer Pig just so they don't heal. I'll work on Hunter Sam next, and then I'll work on Pepe Le Pew next. And it should be I'm gonna take his attack. I'm gonna steal his attack. You know, I don't want any surprises, some random critical hit or something. And then from here on, it's pretty easy. So why I wanted to do this is just to weaken all the other teams that were affected by this cannon. And that's why I don't feel so bad about attacking a weaker team at this point, because I'm making all the other towers or all the other cannons super weak. So my alliance should be able to just breeze through it. So there you go. So after, what was it, 4 or 5 wins or bombs against the cannon, then they explode. So now you guys can see the little, I wish I could zoom in, but you see how between the water tower and the land tower, there's that blue, the dark blue. Now here, all these teams just got weaker because they don't get any buffs. See on the top how they're not highlighted anymore? So they don't get pirate ship buffs. So now all these teams lost like 6 to 8k power by doing that. So now I can theoretically go after this team and completely dominate it if I wanted to. So I think now what I'm gonna do, and there's a lot of tips and tricks to this whole thing, guys. Like it's just really about choosing all the right toons. So I like to eventually look for a team that has 3 defenders, because see, like this team, I would completely dominate it with just my Referee Foghorn. Referee Foghorn is really good because, again, he stuns and does 20% damage for every 2 yellow cards whenever someone with taunt attacks. So let's see where else I can go. I guess I can go against the healing over time. See, so this is why I save my Devil Dog. Oh, what the? All right. Bear with me, guys. This my videos, like, there's no matter what I do, they're just too long. So I hope you guys enjoy watching the videos, and I hope you guys don't mind, sitting through the videos whenever they're a little longer than usual. I hope that didn't take away my energy. I'm gonna make another video after this, and I'll do it separately, of course, so you guys can have a break, talking about the Granny event and what I'm focusing on and why I think it's such a great event. All right, so I was gonna go after, what was it? There was a team with Granny. Was it the 51k? Yeah. So that's why I like Devil Dog, because essentially now their whole team's not gonna be able to heal. And since he does damage over time, I put 2 other members that can do damage over time. And I don't want to use my Black Knight Sam yet, which is my other one that does damage over time. So usually I throw in Nasty Canasta, or at this point, if I want to synergize my Valk with Siegfried, I'll do that. So let's just do it like this. So honestly, I should have probably not used Valk and Sig. I should have used any other random 2 toons because it's going to be an easy sweep. But I like using Valk and Devil Dog against grannies because once you silence her, yeah, she can't add more healing over time. And you guys see how they already have healing over time? This Devil Dog just makes that all go away. So, oh shoot, there's a little bit of a glitch. But this move right here takes away all healing over time and applies 3 damage over time. And from here on out, it's just gonna be a breeze, just an easy sweep, all right? You guys can see just the damage over time just taking over. Devil Dog, if an enemy already has a debuff, he adds another damage over time. And again, this is just smooth sailing from here. His Porky Pig isn't even tuned up enough to prevent damage over time. Like, Porky Pig is really, really good because he prevents everything except, I think, speed down and defense down. But he doesn't have it tuned up enough to have defense against damage over time. So, yeah, that's a mistake from his part. So let me just, yep, it's just a sweep, guys. Honestly, that's why I'm mad. I could have saved that Valk for a stronger team and used somewhere else. Because Witch Hazel and Devil Dog were more than enough to handle this team. And I could have just brought in, like, any other random DPSs. But there goes my